Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much. Oh, hello, hello. Okay, so these bags are have been created. So there's a need for these laundry bags so that medical staff would be able to put their uniforms in the bags, throw them into the wash, get them washed, and then ready for just to prevent the spread of the disease. So we're going to be making these bags, and then you just get an idea. I'm sure you can make it, but I thought we'll make them together just to hang out together as well. I'm wearing this t-shirt it's a thank you to the medical staff t-shirt that I got from Kindred, and it's so special. But yes, I'm really pleased that you all came out today to hang out with me. I'm so pleased. So moving straight in. Okay, so these are cotton fabrics. I have this cotton fabric here, and I'm going to be stitching it in using white thread just to show you what I'm doing, but normally I would use a matching thread. You want your bags to have a dimension of, you want it to be 22 inches long. 22 inches long converts to 56 centimeters, and you want it to be 43 inches wide, or 17 inches wide, or 43 centimeters wide. So I'm just going to be working with inches, so 17 by 22. Yeah. Right, I'm going to go straight into my cutting mat to cut this out. So I'd love for you to go ahead and cut out your fabrics. This fabric here is a cotton fabric, and this would actually go nicely for a mask, a face mask, because it's tightly woven. But there isn't any, well, from the information that I've been given, there isn't a guideline for the laundry bags. So if you've got poplin or polycotton, that's fine. Okay, so like I said earlier, we want it to be 17 by 22. I'm going to quickly use my pattern because I cut out a rectangle on a piece of paper. So hello. Oh, Helen Moyes. I remember you from the Stitch Festival. Hello, Helen. Sorry about the crinkling of my paper. Yeah, a fat quarter, exactly. So it's exactly the same thing. But with this one here, I'm just going to cut out two pieces. You need two of the fabric pieces. So two lots. You're going to cut out two. I tried to use my phone camera just to show you what I was doing, but I had to end up with my laptop. But it's okay. We improvise. Okay, so sorry if I haven't said your name yet. I'll come round to the comment section in a minute to say hello. But yes, so I've got my fabric pieces and I'm going to cut them. I've got a cutting mat here and I'm just going to cut the fabric. You want to get the fabric cut out, 2 layers. When I made the demo fabrics, when I made the demo bags last week, it took me about 15 minutes to make each bag, which is excellent. So you can whip out a lot of them in one sitting. But yeah, so easy to make. Okay. But then you also need to cut out a long strip of fabric. Now you want your long strip of fabric to be 1 inch wide. So I'm just going to do the same thing here, but this time I need to fold my fabric just a little. I'm just going to fold it into 2 so I can get a long strip, and so that I can use my quilting ruler to cut out 1 inch wide strip. So 1 inch. Actually, no, that was wrong. It's 1.5 inches. Pardon me. 1.5 inches wide, because we're going to use this to create the straps that would wrap around the bag or go through the channel. We're going to create a channel. Okay, so moving on to the sewing machine. Just going to move the microphone. Hello, Jennifer. Hello. It's basically the same as a regular fat quarter, exactly. So now I've got my sewing machine. Okay, good. So the next step to follow is to sew around session. I'm going to try and use my filming camera. I'm still learning how to work these things. I was unable to connect people through Zoom because I'm still learning. I'm still learning the ropes of live sessions. So before we take this to the sewing machine, we basically need to, so here you have the edge of the raw edge. Well, it should be a raw edge, but I've got mine is a selvage, so it doesn't matter. But still, you need to fold this twice. So you're going to, I'll do it the other way, fold it once, so it's about 1 centimeter, and then fold it again. But this time you're going to fold it at 2 inches. Yeah, so I'm going to take it to the ironing board and do the same thing. So you cut your fabric, and at one edge, it's just going to show you again. Hello, Button and Pip Adele. So we've got our fabric. So this is the long, so basically what we're going to do is we're going to sew this way, and that way. But then before we do the sewing, we just need to fold this in twice. The first one would be a 1 centimeter fold, and then the second one would be at 2 inches, if that makes sense. 2 inches. Can someone tell me what 2 inches is really quickly? I've forgotten. I think it's about 5 centimeters, if I'm right. Yeah. So I'm going to fold it in the first time. And basically why we're doing this is to create a channel and to have it nice and neat. But then if you've got your overlocker, you can just quickly overlock the raw edges. And if you overlock the raw edges, you could just, you don't need to fold it in twice. I'm just going to quickly check and make sure that I know what, wait, just going to check so I don't confuse people. So 2 inches is 5 centimeters, that's right. So you need to fold it in 1 centimeter the first time, and then the second time you need to fold it in 5 centimeters. I always work between centimeters and inches, so it gets quite confusing sometimes. So here we have it, 2 inches, 2 inches deep. There we have it. Press. Just going to check the other end to make sure we have it accurate. 2 inches. Yes, sorry. Yes, you need to fold it in the wrong way. So I think I've chosen the wrong fabric to demonstrate this. So this is the wrong side and this is the right side. So basically you are folding it into the wrong side. So you fold it in 1 centimeter and then you fold it in again. But this time you're going to fold it in 5 centimeters. But make sure you've got it at 5 centimeters down this way and 5 centimeters down that way. When you fold it in, you give it a nice press. The reason why we're pressing it down before we actually sew around the edges is so that we don't have any difficulty with the ironing process after stitching it. It's much easier that way. Yeah. I hope that makes sense. Oh, good. Okay. So moving on, I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Thanks for, if you have any questions, please ask me, please. I'll be very happy to answer. And if you have any other non-sewing related questions, I'm very happy to answer them. I know Adele probably asked me a this or that question. Yeah. What's everyone having today? What drinks are you having? What drinks are you going to be drinking tonight? I've got a tea here. Probably should have made it something stronger. But yeah, so I've pressed both sides. Yeah, they're both pressed in. So they're both ironed. So now I'm going to open it back up. Okay, so around, all the way round. Yeah. So when you pin, this actually could be, you could, oh, hold on, no, let's do it again. So you need to then turn it back the other way and we're going to make it, we're going to do some French seams. We're going to do French seams so we won't end up with raw edges. We've got coffee, caramel. Oh, wow. Caramel flavor coffee. Nice. Okay, so here we have the wrong sides facing together. So we've got the wrong sides facing each other because we're going to create a, ooh. So we're going to have the wrong sides facing each other, and then we're going to pin. Yeah, if you do not have yours at a fold on the other end, that's fine. You can just do, but I'm going to pretend like I haven't got a fold. So I'm going to pin, pin, pin all the way around. Okay, so Adele's asking if I would rather have pizza or fish and chips. Don't we all miss takeaways? I would rather have pizza. What would you all rather have, pizza or takeaway? I'm sorry, or fish and chips? Oh, someone's having a glass of Prosecco. Oh, wow. Nice. Yeah, I think I'll go for pizza. So fold, 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 pin, pin, pin all the way around. When you've got it pinned, so you're pinning along, and you have the wrong sides facing each other. Normally you'll do right sides facing each other, but we're going to create a French seam. And then here's the short edge. I'm still going to pin it just to demonstrate for those people who do not have a fold. Okay, so I'm just going to hold this up to show you what I have. So here I have wrong sides facing each other, and I've pinned around this way, that way, and that way. So when you have it pinned around, all fish and chips, white wine, fish tea, fish. Oh, I was like dinner. Oh, I get it. Yeah. Oh, wow. Everyone's having a nice evening today. It's nice. Okay, so now I've got the sewing machine out, and I think I should move this camera, well, the laptop. That's much brighter. So now I'm taking this over to the sewing machine. I'm going to take the fabric over to the sewing machine. Yeah. So we are going to stitch around the fabric. Please do not stitch the open the open ends. You're just going to stitch around it, like to create a U shape. But then this would be at a 1 centimeter seam allowance. You need a 1 centimeter seam allowance because we're going to create a French seam. So I've got my sewing machine at 1 centimeter. Make this a bit brighter. Oh yeah, it's nice and bright. Okay, fish and chips. Everyone's having fish and chips. Everyone would rather have fish and chips. Okay. So I've got my sewing machine on, and I'm just going to sew and back stitch. Oh, something's going on with my machine. Oh, okay. Try again. Yep. So yeah, so we're creating a French seam for those people, so that people who do not have an overlocker would be able to end up with clean edges and a clean finish on the inside. I need to remember to get rid of my pins. I've got a very bad habit. When I'm sewing, I tend to sew over pins sometimes, and it's not a good habit. But yeah, I can see someone's, pizza for me. Baileys. Oh, I love a Baileys. The other day I saw a strawberries and cream flavor Baileys, and I thought, oh wow, it's good. Yeah, so we're gonna go around 1 centimeter seam allowance, remember? So it's at 1 centimeter seam allowance there. But then when we're getting close to the corner, we need to gauge it to make sure that we've got a 1 centimeter seam allowance on the other side. Then we're going to raise the foot, and then we're going to put it down and then keep going at the same 1 centimeter seam allowance all the way. Please do not go over your pins. You already know that. I know you all know that. But if you're new to sewing, please don't forget that. So I am sewing over all the way and stop and then do the same thing. Go around again. Oh. Someone said the strawberry flavor is nice. Well, you haven't tried it yet, but you'll try it. Oh, can't wait for this all to be over so everyone can just like sit down and have a nice drink together with friends and family. I've got a question for everyone. What's the first thing you do when all of this is over? Everything that's going on in the world. What's the first thing you do? Let me know in the comments section. What's the first thing you do? Do you know what? I miss going out to a cafe to just, people watch. Just the little things. I miss people watching. I know I probably could do it by just sitting by my window, but it's not the same. It's not the same. Yeah. So let me know, what's the first thing you do when all of this is over? So now I'm going to move my machine out of the way again. Oh, a family get together. Hug my, yeah, actually would, yeah, hug my loved ones. Yeah. You want to travel to a nice city and get away from London or wherever you are, sorry. Hug my grown-up children. Oh, it's so hard, isn't it? It's so hard. But anyway, we're here to do something to help. We're here to do something to help people who are working so hard to make life much easier for us, or to help the situation. So now that I have, you would have seen me pressing around my stitches. I like to do that to lock stitches in. I need to turn this up so you can see me. Yeah, so I just pressed around my actual stitches, and it's just the practice that I like to do to just lock in my stitches. It's a habit that I formed when I was learning to sew, and I've just been doing it ever since. But hug my mum. So now the next thing to do is to turn your fabric around. So now you're turning it inside out. No, outside. You need your wrong sides to be out, basically. I had to think about that one. So now you turn it all the way around, and we're going to stitch it again. But before we do the stitching, we need to just give it a quick press to make sure it's nice and flat, because as you can see, it can be quite tricky sewing this. Yeah, it can be quite tricky sewing this, because you can see this is a bit lumpy. So we need to press it down to make the stitching process easier. I'm sure you all know this, but I like that you'll just come out to hang out with me and just make something together. Yeah, so yeah, it's nice. Someone said, Amanda said the first thing she'd do is to hug her mum. Oh, I would love to hug my mum. I haven't hugged my mum for so long. Oh, you are in London. Oh, I know. Of course, I know you. Oh, absolutely, I know you. Of course, I know you. I didn't. The name didn't register. That's why. Yeah. To travel to Spain, but you couldn't. I know. Don't worry. This would all blow over very soon. I hope and pray. So I'm just pressing down the raw edges. Just going to get rid of these. It's actually good practice to trim any threads, a bit dark. I don't know why the camera's gone a bit dark. But yeah, it's good practice to trim threads before you do your French seams. So I'm just going to press. And when you press it down, you're going to take it back to the sewing machine. But this time you'd sew at 1.5 centimeters. 1.5 centimeters is the same thing as it's more or less 3/4 of an inch, if I'm right, or 5/8. Wait, let's check it again. So you need to, 2 is 1.5, 5/8. No, 3/4 of an inch. 3/4 of an inch? 5/8 of an inch. Oh my goodness. Can't think. Yeah, so. No, sorry, not so. Press. Can't think. Okay, so now I'm just going to pin just to make sure everything's nice and flat. But please, when you do your pressing, do not press over the pressed lines, those initial pressed lines. Don't go over them. Okay, we're going to get the machine back again and put this iron out, get this iron out of the way before I get burnt. Cool. Right, so we're going back to the sewing machine. This time it's going to be a 1.5 seam allowance, 1.5 centimeters seam allowance. The purpose of doing that is to make sure that those raw edges on the inside are nicely trapped and they won't peek out. So take it back to the sewing machine, and at a 1.5 centimeter seam allowance, I get this part always confusing. Perfect. So now we won't risk the chance of having any raw ends, or those threads showing on the right side, and that's the purpose of doing that. So back stitch. Don't know why I'm sweating. Yeah, so all the way around. I'm stitching using a white thread, but I wouldn't normally do that. So obviously use a matching colored thread. So when I get to the end, I need to gauge it at a 1.5 centimeter seam allowance again, and then go around. I've made quite a few of these, and I intend to make even more. So I've cut out quite a few of them as well. And a friend of mine sent me, a friend of mine's made a pattern for scrubs, and she sent me the pattern through the post. So I'm going to be spending some time sewing up some scrubs. I've been doing quite a lot. I tried to make masks, but then, and this was like ages ago, I think it was about 2 weeks ago, but the mask didn't look right. I don't know where the mask is. I'd have shown you the mask that I made earlier. But then I ended up using the Mimi G sewing pattern for face masks, and that one worked better. So I made one for myself, my husband, and for my daughter. And yeah, but we hardly go out. We don't even go out. So, but then the purpose of having one of those is just in case you have to go out. So you don't touch your face, and if you do touch your face, you touch the mask instead. But yeah, those I made some clips, some button. We call them ear savers, and they're here on the channel. If you've seen the video of that, let me know what you think. I found them really easy to make, and I think it would help to stop the sore ears, because those doctors and nurses and healthcare staff and carers have to wear masks for so long in the day, and it can cause quite a bit of strain at the back of the ear. So when I found out about those, you're making masks. Or you're selling them on your oh, that's excellent. What kind of fabric are you using, Helen? Helen's just said that she is making masks for her family. Oh, but she did make them for her family, but now she's selling them. But I want to know, what type of fabric are you using for the sold masks? Let me know. So now, so what I'm doing now is I'm turning this inside out. Yeah, so now we have our right side where it should be. So wrong side's facing, and then the right side outside. So now the inside's nice and clean, and we do not have any raw edges showing. And on the outside as well, we do not have any raw edges showing, apart from this little thread here that's peeking out. So I'm just going to chop it off really quickly, and then we're going to move on to the closure, where we're going to create a channel. But before we do that, we need to give it a press, actually. So we're going to take this over to do some ironing. So I have, this looks like a pillowcase. Okay, so now So going to make them, oh, okay. Your local hospice are asking for the headbands for masks. Oh, headbands. Okay. What I think those headbands, people who make the headbands have used stretch fabric because of the lack of elastic. So using 3 layers, 2 woven cotton and 1 interfacing. Ah, okay. Oh wow, that's really good protection then. That's really good, Helen. Really, really good. Yeah. Yeah, so the headbands. So if anyone here who doesn't know what those headbands are, they are elasticated headbands with buttons attached on both sides, and the masks, the elasticated masks, get hooked onto the buttons on the headbands, and that just sort of reduces the pain or the strain to people's ears. You've got the elderly who have to wear masks for long periods of time, and nurses, doctors, healthcare staff. I saw a post the other day on Instagram saying that it wasn't only, we don't know, it's not just the nurses and the doctors that work in hospitals and who are at risk. We also have the people who work in the blood testing departments. We have all sorts of different people, and they all need, it's a lot of people that work in hospital. Folding we did initially, all we now need to do is to fold it in, like the first fold, and then the second fold. Just going to fold it in twice, following the initial lines, the initially pressed lines. And when we do that, we're just going to secure it using pins. I'm really pleased that you all came out to hang out with me. Really, really pleased about that. I've got my tea in the corner there, but I can't drink it yet. Yeah, so here we are. Yeah, it's looking good. So the next thing to do is to pin down. Make sure we've got it all pinned down. Remember, this was a 2-inch or 5-centimeter deep channel. Yeah, don't forget that. So when we take it to the sewing machine, I'm just going to pin this down really quickly. Yeah. So don't forget that. So when we take this to the sewing machine, our stitch. So if this is a 5-centimeter, this is a 5-centimeter fold, our stitch would be 1 centimeter away from the edge. So it would be a 4-centimeter channel, if that makes sense. Yeah, 4-centimeter channel. So pin, pin, pin all around the channel, and then take it back to the sewing machine. Sorry, it's shaky. Okay, so I want you all to see what I'm doing. Move this again so you can see better. Okay, so we have this down, feed it through, and then we have our stitches. Our stitch is going to be 1 centimeter away from the 1 centimeter away from the edge. We're going to stitch around. Ah, okay. I'm just going to read the comments in a minute. Coming. Okay, I'm going to go around all the way around. If you've got pins, do not forget to take your pins off. Don't forget to remove the pins. However, oh no, hold on. We haven't finished. We've still got a little bit more to go. We need to make the straps. If you've got ribbons or cord, or or you've got bias tape, you could use that for the straps. It doesn't have to be an actual piece of the same fabric. So when I go all the way around, I'm going to create the straps, and I'll show you a quick trick that I normally use to create nice corners on my straps. Okay, so this is nicely done, completed. And the next thing that I'll do is, okay, so I have this all nicely. Here we are. I've stitched it all the way around. There aren't any raw ends showing, so all the raw edges are nicely secure and like trapped away. And this is nice and completed. So we're just going to put this on the side, but then I'm going to show you the trick that I use to create my straps. Keeps going dark. Cool. So here, what I do with my straps, I've got a long strip of fabric here. What I normally do is so what people normally do is you sew from one end to the other and then turn it inside out, and somehow you tuck this in. But when you do that tucking in, it gets all bunched up and it's so difficult to feed it through the sewing machine. Give me a thumbs up in the comment section to let me know if you understand what I mean. If you ever if you ever encounter that kind of issue. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sew around from this end all the way around. So I'm going to sew up the corner and then get towards the middle, stop, back stitch, start again from here. Oh, not here, from there. I'm going to start again from here all the way around. And when I get to the end, I'll get here, turn the corner, back stitch, and end it there. But then what I'll do, thanks. Okay, so what I'm going to do then is I'll pull it through one end, pull it through the other end, fold it, like fold in the, the raw ends and have it nice this way. And then I'll stitch over it. This part that has stitches on it would be inside the channel, so it won't show. So it would look like you did such an excellent job, but you did a little hack there too. Anyway, you get what I mean. I'm sure you understand what I mean. So I'm going to fold this over, take it to the sewing machine. Let's pull this a bit closer so you can see me. Yep, you can see. So fold it, take it to the sewing machine again. And then, yeah, I'm just going to use about a 1 centimeter, actually a 5mm seam allowance, because you don't really need, no, just 5mm is okay. So I'm going to go forward, back, and then I'm going to sew all the way. And when I sew all the way, oh, actually, I won't sew all the way. I'm going to stop midway. When I stop midway, I'll back stitch, chop off the threads, and start again, but I'll leave about a 5 centimeter gap. So leave about, it should be about 5 centimeters to enable you to do the turning, like turning it inside out. So when you do that all the way to the end, you pull it through, give it a press, and feed it through your channel. I like to use bodkins. I've also got a safety pin. Can you see my fit? Yeah, use my safety pin and pass it through. But then you'll be wondering, how would you get the straps through that hole? I just create a tiny little snip using my seam ripper. And that's it. So easy. You can whip this out. I know we've taken about 30 minutes to create this, but I'm sure you can do this under 30 minutes now that you've had a go. Okay. Oh, hi, Sally. Hello, Sally. It's okay. It's okay. I'm going to leave this. I'll have it on repeat. So I will not be deleting the live stream. I'll just leave it on the channel. So it's fine. So what's everyone working on? What crafts are you trying out? Are you trying out something new? Or I know some people who just can't be bothered to engage in any crafts, which is fine. We're all dealing with, the current situation differently. But if you are doing any crafts, what crafts are you engaging in? So what I'm doing here, let me know in the comment section. I'd love to know what crafts you are engaging in. So now I have my strip, right? So what I'm doing is I'm just going to trim off the corner. Okay, yeah. So that's good. So what I'll do is I'll save it so you can always like rewind. Oh, Amanda, sorry about that. Am I too quick? Am I going so quick? I hope I'm not going too fast. Um, Crochet blankets. Nice. That is relaxing. Sorry, I forgot to bring my loop turner. So I have my loop turner. I found this tool really difficult to use when I started to sew, but now I've got a hang of it. So when you pass it through your strap, open, make sure the latch is open. Can you see? Yes, you can. I can see it, so I'm sure you can. So we're going to feed it through all the way in, but then when we get to the top, we're going to hook it through the fabric. I know it will create a hole, but don't worry, it won't damage your fabric. If you had an opening at the top, it would have been easier. So you pull it through. Yeah, this part it takes a while, but it does get done. And when you get it through, it just makes your life so much easier. And another tool that I like to use to turn out to create straps is it's called what do you call that? They are used for forceps. They're used for surgery, but they do such a great job. They do such a great job anyway. Yeah. I don't know why this is not working, so I'm just going to trim this a bit more to make sure that it's not. Okay, Monty shirts from the Style Arc. I've never heard of that. Or learning to make clothes. Nice one, Alex. What kind of clothes? What's your first one? What's the first thing you're making, Alex? Let us know. You made some shirt dresses. Ooh, shirt dresses. Nice. It'd be great for this weather. Making the Monty shirt from the Style. I don't know the Monty shirt. I'll check it out. I'll look it up online when we finish. And now this is not behaving. Typical. When you want something to work, it won't work. Christine, knitting for my first grandchild. Ooh, Christine is knitting for her first grandchild arriving in August. All the best. All the very best. Okay. I'm just going to gradually peel this through. Let me know in the comment section, what method do you use to turn out straps? Oh, don't like this. Ugh. Let's try these four, but they're too wide. They're too big for this hole. But we could try. So what I do with this is I get it all the way in. Oh yeah. Oh, I've sewn some items from Tilly's Stretch Book. Oh, I like that book. Also doing a jumper, crochet items for babies, blankets, teaching a friend to cross stitch via video. Cross stitching. Oh, cross stitching. Cross stitching is a little bit like hand embroidery, isn't it? Correct me if I'm wrong. You use a chopstick to push it out. I think I know that. I might do that now, actually. I know that technique. Oh my goodness. Right, this is not working the way I want it to work. Adele, you've got a bra and pants set cut out ready to sew, just waiting. Okay, I have spare straps for the other bags that I've been making. So I've got this spare one. Sorry, I couldn't show you how to use these. But yeah, they do work. They do work because that's the method that I use to get this through. And this is the same weight of fabric. It's just not, I'm a bit. Anyway, so now I have my pin, my safety pin. I'm just going to put it through there and feed it through the fabric. So here I have my bag. I have the bag now, and I'm going to, oh, hold on. Okay, so I have my bag. I'm just going to create a little hole, but I'll make the hole on the inside. Yeah, so this is the right side of the bag. I need to gauge the middle of the bag, and the middle, the center point is about there. So I'm just going to create the hole inside. So what I'll do is so if you have a look, what I'm doing here is you can use a pair of scissors to do this, but I just like to use my unpicker, my seam ripper to do this. So I've got the first hole created. I'm going to create another hole, and the hole, you should have them about like 1.5 centimeters apart to enable your straps to go from one end to the other. So now I'm going to feed my strap through the channel that we created, but just be very careful not to lose the strap inside the channel. So be super careful with that. Yeah, I have the loop turner, and yes, they do work. They even work with really thin fabrics, but use a knitting needle. Never tried a knitting needle, but I know it does work. But yeah, when a person's under pressure, I don't know if this feels like I'm on the sewing bee. It's my first time ever going live, and I feel under pressure to make sure things don't go wrong. So that's probably the reason why it's just decided not to work. If we were on the sewing bee, they'll probably be like, yeah, cameras, go over to where Juliet is. She's making a mistake, so they can grab it on camera. But anyway, yes. So I'm really pleased that you've all hung out with me this evening, and we are coming close to the end of it. Like I said earlier, I will have this on repeat for anyone who needs to rewind. Oh, closet case pattern basic online course, skirts, tops, and pants. Oh, that's a good one to do. This is actually a really great time to learn how to make patterns. Good for you, Alex. That's so cool. Alex, are you on Instagram or Facebook? Oh my gosh, that makes me so, thank you so much. That's so lovely. Oh, thank you. She said, this video is so refreshing, and the fact that we can chat with you. Thanks so much for this. God bless you. God bless you too. Thank you. Anne said, love watching you on the sewing bee. You were brilliant. I learned loads watching you. Really? Can't wait. I can't wait till the next one. Guys, I'm just actually going to tell you something. So here's what I'm going to do. After every episode, and it starts on the 22nd of April, if I'm right, it's a Wednesday, and it's on the BBC, it's on BBC One. Amazing. So that's sewing's becoming like mainstream, and it's going to make more people want to have a go at making their own things. I had a chat with someone, and they were like, I don't want sewing to become mainstream. I want it to be our little thing that we make for ourselves, so things won't get too expensive. I was like, well, I think it'll be good for everyone to make their own clothes, and I want sewing to become mainstream because it's such a great thing to do. I think it's but anyway, here's what I'm going to be doing. After each episode, I'll come on here on YouTube, and I'm going to do my reaction. So I'm going to react to each episode, and we'll just chat like this. And I would say but then I'll come from the perspective of a person who's been there, and I would break it down, but then not going against my contract with them. Well, my contract's expired now, but I mean, in the sense of like looking at each garment, what each person's made, and talking about it. Because sometimes when I watch a TV show, I like to be able to chat with someone else about what I've watched. So I think it will be correct. It'll be great. Let me know if you would like to watch that. I'm doing it anyway. Okay, so Anne said, oh no, I've read Anne's comments. Sarah says, you missed most of my, sorry, Sarah. You're doing great. Thank you. Lovely company and much needed adult conversation. Yay! Quietly. Okay, I will check you out. I'll check out your work, Alex, when you do get your making shared. When you share your making. I recorded the sewing bee and I keep going back to watch it. Wow. Cool. So excited for the sewing bee. I am excited. Christine says, "Oh, thanks, Christine. Oh, I'm going to do it." I think it's a good idea because, like, sometimes you just want to hear what other people think about what you've watched, but maybe the people in your household aren't into sewing. Sewing makes me feel good inside. It makes me feel good inside as well. Sally says, "Brilliant. Yay. There's a show on Netflix called Next in Fashion. I actually need to watch that show. I've just watched the first 5 minutes. Was it about 15 minutes of the first episode? And I got distracted. I will. Okay, so everyone, here's a recommendation for you on Netflix. Lovely to sew together. Yay! Sounds good to me. Sounds great. That will be lovely. Hi, Juliet. Lovely to see you here. Oh, hello, Shavona. Hey, Shavona. I find a great idea. Oh, I'm up for that. Chatting after the show will be free. Let's do it. So we're gonna do a sewing bee reaction video every week. I will see you here. Anyway, guys, it's done. So here's our bag. Bag's all done. I mean, you could have the holes, you know, the holes for the straps. You could have the holes inside or outside. I put mine on the inside so it doesn't show the raw, like this raw edge, but this is just a personal choice. So you pull it through and they tie the straps and they put their uniforms in there, throw it into the washing machine or, you know, take them out, throw them in the washing machine and keep it moving so that the healthcare workers won't have to wear their uniforms home. I don't think people, I don't know. I don't, to be honest, I'm not too sure about that. But when I was told about this idea and that it was because my local our community hospital here. It's called Princess Royal Hospital here. They do need these bags, and I am whipping out as many as I can, and you'll be really pleased. So wherever you live, do ask your community, your hospital, wherever your local hospital, ask them if this is something that will be of benefit to them. Otherwise, you could make those the ear defenders, the ear relief, those it's on my channel is the video just before this live session, so have a look, and however you can contribute, go ahead and contribute. If you can't contribute by cash, by buying the resources or donating money, you can always make things with your hands and just help as much as you can. And if you can't help, it's okay, stay at home. That's what we all need to do. We all just need to stay at home. And I'm really pleased. If you like me to do more sessions like this, I'll be really pleased to do it. I'm actually thinking maybe when I do the reaction videos, I'll do it live and I'll be sewing a project and I could just like pick out a little aspect of whatever I'm working on and just share with you. So anyway, I'm not going to keep you too long because I know we haven't got to the 1 hour mark. We've got about 10 more minutes, but I don't want to keep you any longer. So thank you so much. At least 43 bags from Justice. Yes, exactly. Thank you very, very much, everyone who's hung out with me. Let's see. I'm making face masks out of scrap fabrics. Fantastic. I look forward to seeing the next Sewing Bee Series 6. Yes. Such a great idea. Thank you. This is a great idea, Juliet, and well done. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody who's hung out with me. So I really, really appreciate. And I do hope to see you in my next video. All the best. Bye. Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you. Have a lovely evening. Enjoy. Oh, I forgot to say, please give this video a like on your way out. Bye. It does help me. Okay.